Now to the Australian inventor with a dream of making flying possible for anyone. And we're not talking about in an aircraft.
David Mayman has just brought his dream a step closer to reality after successfully flying around Sydney Harbour strapped into a jetpack. This was a flight of redemption for David Mayman. As he soared into the blue sky over Sydney Harbour, memories of his 2010 attempt were swept away. On that occasion, he ended up in the harbour instead of over it. This time it was smooth flying with a triumphant landing and a smoky media conference.
I actually landed on the spot. Sorry, guys. I landed right here where I wanted to. That's not going to blow us up, so don't worry about that.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
As a boy growing up in Sydney, all David Mayman wanted to do was fly. He got his pilot's licence at 16 before he knew how to drive a car. But he wanted to fly like James Bond and the guy in the Los Angeles Olympics opening ceremony.
Well, there he is, JetMan, flying into the stadium.
And so began David's quest, not just to make flying by jetpack possible, but to make it a genuine transport option.
And we are joined by jetpack inventor and pilot David Mayman, who is still coming back to Earth. A very successful launch yesterday.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
day for it.
Oh, perfect day. Yeah. Sydney Harbour turned it on. Yeah.
Were you a bit nervous because in front of all of the cameras, beautiful backdrop for you to go, look, boom.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And in 2010, that's exactly what happened. I took off from the other side of the bay and went plop.
Right.
And different technology now, 10 years later, done a lot of work on it. And we do this like every day in California on a private lake, but it's really different when you've got a whole bunch of people there and cameras and
Yes, I'll bet.
Yeah.
So this has been your dream since childhood?
Yeah, it's a bit nutty, isn't it?
No judgments, David. But it is unusual. This is.
Oh dear.
It's you finally realised it. This is bigger than just
Well, this is kind of it's 12 years in the making, but at the same time, it's really just the start because now we know that the engines can do that. We know what the control systems are like. Let's make this something that everybody can use.
Yep. You use the word, it's a bit nutty. You're actually married a psychologist.
I know.
What does she think about this?
Yeah, a lifetime project, right? Yeah. So. She thinks it's cool. I mean, she's bought in, and I've got 2 daughters, and they love it as well.
Right.
But it takes its toll. It's like anything else. When you're completely obsessed about something, something else gives.
So will this be a viable form of transport? Perhaps not over water in the not too distant future.
Right. And there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. Like the jetpack itself, probably not, because you've got to land with your legs. But what we're working on now is basically a motorcycle. Right. So I can put you on the motorcycle, and you can press go. It'll come up into a hover. Yeah. It'll do 350 kilometres an hour.
Oh, so my goodness.
Right. And it's completely stabilised. And that's really possible now. So the technology is there to do that now. The question is, when will the regulators accept the technology, and when will the infrastructure be there? Yeah. Because you could take off from Martin Place here, but where would you go?
Yeah, but at 350 k's an hour, it's understandable the regulators would be thinking, hell, we don't want people up in the air going that fast.
Right, so the worst thing you want to do is get people involved in controlling all of that traffic. In 10 or 20 years' time, they won't be. This will all be automated. Every machine knows where every machine is. Every machine knows where every pole is, every building is. And I mean, that's what's happening now. And there's literally
like
billions of dollars.
Car.
Exactly. Yeah. So there'll be driverless cars, and we'll have a driverless motorcycle.
Right.
That's the difference.
Wow.
And everyone that's relying on electric technology, it's going to take too long, so we use turbojets.
Right.
Okay. Oh my goodness, how cool is this?
Yeah,
well done,
that's the new motorcycle.
You live in California now.
I do,
and do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You're working out the future.
I think so, particularly with we call it micro VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing. There's lots of people working on flying cars, like five-seat cars. We're working on like single-place, 2-seat vehicles.
It's fascinating. Keep us up to date with it. Congratulations.
Yeah, loved it.
It was wonderful yesterday.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
Good to see you.
Thank you.